Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Holy Heck. I'm your co-host, Grace.
And I'm Katy. And we are re-recording.
Yes, we are. We are, in fact, re-recording.
Yeah. Yep.
Why? Why are we re-recording?
I think, so we had recorded episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together.
Yeah.
We had decided on doing In the Beginning, which is just our backstories. And then we were going to do The Fall and the Flood, which is just our testimonies. And then we were going to do The Rainbow, which is meeting our spouses. And that ended up taking a full 4 episodes. And a couple days ago, I got the chance to retell my testimony. And I realized that I cannot break up my Fall and the Flood from my Rainbow.
Yeah.
Because so much of God's plan and providence for my life was shown through Joey and meeting my husband. And so there was so much that I tried to separate, but I just can't.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So, yeah.
I'm very excited.
I feel a lot better about it this way. I feel like it's a little bit more it shows the full picture rather than trying to pull apart my life into separate events. My life has been one continuous
and it's
testimony.
That's the testimony. That is the testimony. Yeah. And when you brought up the idea to me to re-record, I was surprised. My initial reaction wasn't, ugh. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we both kind of sat down too and reassessed what are we doing? What's the purpose? Because I think at first we had so many things we wanted to talk about that we were so passionate about.
And good things, wonderful things.
And we're so used to talking to probably more mature believers and people that have struggled with concepts that are very deep.
Yes.
But we realized very quickly that our audience was not...
It's probably not that.
No.
And so we wanted to break it down a little bit more and explain more about what we're talking about.
Just get back to the basics.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why?
I love that.
Yeah.
Back to the basics.
So what...
Ask questions.
To start all of this off, when we talk about testimony, I think we're going to toss that word around a lot of my testimony. What even is a testimony?
Yeah. What is it for the non-believer or someone coming in, listening to this podcast is I don't really know what that is. A testimony, I feel is your continuous life story on how God continues to show up and almost prove his existence in a way in your life. And I feel it's sometimes in some people's lives, it's a trigger. It's an event where they it's a come to Christ moment of oh, this is real. This is more than maybe my parents' salvation if they were raised on it in church, or maybe if they just kind of know of it. It's a moment when you start taking it super serious, I'd say, and moving forward and turning your life to live that way now.
And that happens multiple times.
Yes.
Normally for a normal believer.
Event.
Normally for a believer, there's the moment that you realize Christ is your Lord. And then there's a moment when you realize there's things in your life that you need to get rid of. And then there's a moment that you realize it needs to go further than that. And there's just different moments in your life where Christ calls you in deeper and further. And so my testimony is again, multiple different things that have happened. So yeah.
I'm really excited.
Me too. I feel really good about re-recording it.
Good. Okay, so now you guys have a basis of what a testimony is.
Yeah.
And so let's start with yours. How would you start from the beginning?
Yeah, so I think where I left off was high school and kind of where my life was at high school. I was dating guys, but it was very this is an interesting concept, but in Christian culture, we talk a lot about dating for marriage.
Yeah.
And I think that there's 2 mindsets, but it's the same words. So equivocation, which is a fallacy, where it's one word or one phrase, but 2 completely different definitions.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the younger Christians and growing up in Christian culture, dating to marry meant whatever you do when you're dating, you're going to get married.
Interesting. I didn't have that point of view.
I had that point of view. Everybody I knew had that point of view where it was I'm seriously dating, which means if I date a guy, we're going to get married.
Interesting.
And it wasn't I need to be really picky and not date. It was whatever I do when I'm dating, we're going to be very serious. And so we're going to put up this front that this is a serious relationship and we're pursuing marriage. But it wasn't ever you need to be picky and selective with who you're dating, and you should be dating.
Yeah.
If that's if you're trying to figure out who your spouse is, go ahead and go on dates if you want to, or get to know guys and be really picky and selective.
Yeah.
There was never that because it was very seen as you shouldn't be dating, you shouldn't be there was also this book that my high school read of it basically said dating to date or dating to go on dates first is sinful. You have to be best friends before you ever date.
Oh, so they put a label or they put the stamp of sin on it for even the steps of dating.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
I don't know if they specifically said, I didn't take this.
Yeah.
But it literally was specifically talking about how it's so wrong to go in with the intention of meeting somebody and being I want to date you.
Interesting.
What you should do is like, I want to get to know you. Let's be friends. And then it can progress to dating. And like, that works.
Yeah.
Like, it really does. Like, that's how I met my husband.
That's how I met my husband. Yeah.
And so like, it definitely works. But I think that I very much was kind of pushed into that aspect of like, I just need to be really friendly with everyone and get to know everyone. But then that also caused a lot of confusion and mixed signals.
Because that's hard with boundaries and setting boundaries. Yeah, that's
and
hard.
Pursuit. Yes. That's a huge one because you want to be pursued by a man. But if they're being told like they have to be your best friend first.
A best friend doesn't pursue someone romantically like that. Yeah.
And also like if a guy was like, no, I know that you're the one. Like my husband, right?
Yeah.
Like we were friends at first, but it wasn't a very long period of time that we were friends. Before we started dating, and he was very forward from the get-go. I really like you. I would like to marry you one day. And if I was like in that mindset of like I have to, be best
You would
friends
have been
first.
like,
No, this guy is being too pushy, too forward. I can't. Like,
and like, look at you guys
It's just
now.
so weird. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, anyways, lots of that going on.
Okay.
I also fell into the like trap that I feel like a lot of young Christian girls fall into, which is like dating to save.
Yes, missionary dating.
Missionary dating, which is basically the idea that...
Yeah, what is that?
Yes. Basically the idea that, like, I'm a Christian, I'm super firm in my beliefs, and so I should go out, and if I meet a really wonderful guy, then I can just convince him to be a Christian, and we can have this beautiful life. And the Bible says that, like, blessed are your children if you are unequally yoked because they have found Jesus through you. And so, like, I just thought, like, wow, like, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was going out to intentionally missionary date, but I, like, was like, I don't need to just focus on dating only Christian guys.
Okay.
I can date anybody. And, like, I'm super strong in my beliefs and my standings.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Oh, no.
It was pretty bad.
Do tell.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, so I met this guy. And this is like a major red flag to start out with. But I met him at this like grocery store and I was like, here's like, we should go on a date or something. I was really forward. And he was like, yeah, okay, like here's my number. And I remember I like got home that night and texted him and I was like, hey, I definitely should have double checked. You're like not seeing anyone or talking to anyone, right? Like that was really forward of me and I have no idea what's going on in your life. And he was like, oh, like this is after hours of us texting. He was like, oh yeah, by the way, like I was gonna like mention that. Like I kind of have a thing with this girl, but like I'll end that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like he was like
wow.
Yeah,
actively
he was like
talking to somebody. And still said yes to a random girl about a phone number.
Yep.
I mean, have you seen you?
Yeah, well,
wow.
Anyways. But yeah, and so I was like, oh, okay. And like I had morals, and so I was like, I'm not talking to you until that is over. So yeah, let me know when that is. And he was like, okay. And then like, I think it was like a couple days turnaround and he was like,
really? I was curious
everything.
that time.
Yeah.
In between.
Yeah. Anyway, so things progressed. He was not a Christian, but had said like he had been around it in his life. I was so innocent. I had only known Christians up till this point. Like,
yeah. So what was going through your head initially of like knowing he wasn't a believer? Was it like maybe I shouldn't, or like, oh, it's fine?
I was really naive and thought that like the horror stories of like people having sex and like all of this stuff wasn't real.
Like outside of marriage?
No.
Gotcha.
Like yes, but no. Like I didn't think it was actually common or that like anybody actually did it.
Even married couples?
No, I think married couples did.
Oh, okay.
But like
okay.
I didn't
get what
think that like high school students were actually as bad as like stuff made it out to be.
Okay.
Like I thought the like proportion of kids that were like smoking weed in high school was like maybe 5%.
Okay.
It's like 50.
Which is crazy.
I just had no idea, you know? And so I thought that like even if he's not a Christian, he's probably still got really great morals. We probably agree on like almost everything. Like he's probably going to treat me really decently because like that's a duh.
Because like guys are supposed to do that.
Yeah. Like I guess assumed a lot of these naive ideas of like how men treat women. So yeah, I mean, one thing led to another and it progressively started getting worse and worse. I think there was a lot of like, he was pretty like, I would say manipulative from the get-go. Like it was, I think there was a lot of like, we would talk about past relationships and stuff that had happened in the past and girlfriends that he had had and stuff like that. And he was like, well, I was cheated on. So like, you know, I'm not really interested in having sex anymore. Like, I'm really good about that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's great. Like, I can let my guard down. Like, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And then he would, like, make a comment about how, like, you know, he's, like, really struggling with, like, pornography. And, like, it'd just be so much better if, like, he didn't have to worry about struggling with that. and stuff. Yeah, and like just like
Interesting.
little snide things that like, again, I don't know if it was intentional. Like, you know, most men, I don't feel like go into it being manipulative, like the intention's not there.
Yeah.
But they're really struggling and they're trying to find a way out of it.
Yeah.
And so, but it started getting to that like comparison wise, and I was comparing myself internally a lot with like his exes and the fact that like, whoa, he'd been intimate with like 3 other girls and like I haven't.
Yeah.
And so I felt almost like lesser than.
Oh.
Lots of that stuff. And then I knew he was watching pornography and like struggling with it. I don't know if he was actually caring to struggle or not. And so there was a lot of comparison of that too, where I was like, what am I doing? Why are you not content with just having a relationship with me? Why are you like needing that right now?
Yeah. During this time when all of that's starting to come about, is there anything in you that's like ding ding ding, like red flag, like maybe I shouldn't, maybe this isn't how relationships are? Or did it just feel like, oh, this was the normal?
No, it didn't even feel normal. It felt like, oh my gosh, like I'm meant to help this person.
Gotcha.
Yeah, again, savior complex.
Yeah.
It was so conceited, so prideful of me to think that like I could like fix somebody or change them, because like that's not our role as a person. Like we can influence others and like help them, but there's no like fixing people. Like that's not what we're called to do. So I think at this point, like I had just kind of felt like, whoa, like this guy, like, man, I'm so glad I found him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, I'm so glad that I can be here for him, like whatever that looks like. And then, the comparison just got really, really bad. And it like eventually led to crossing a lot of boundaries I was not okay with, but like didn't feel like I was allowed to have those boundaries anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Again, not something I ever voiced until like a lot later.
Okay.
But I did eventually voice like my issues with it. But I ended up, I think we had been together for like 9 months or something like that. And we'd been breaking up and getting back together. Like this is when the cycle kind of started.
Okay. Yeah.
He was just very cold. Like, I don't know another word for it, but we would like get into like a fight over something. I don't even know what we would fight over. Like it was very petty things.
Yeah.
Like I can't even remember a single like issue we ever had.
Yeah.
One of them was talking about ice. I think I've told you this. We like got into the biggest fight one time over if ice is frozen water or not.
I do remember you telling me this.
This was like the craziest thing to get in a fight over, but I was like ice is just frozen water. And he was like, that's impossible. Water is in its essence the liquid form, so it can't be frozen because it's liquid. And I was like,
oh.
Well, yeah, but then if you freeze it, it's frozen.
It's
water.
frozen.
Like I was like, it's funny or whatever. Yeah. And we're like fighting about this. He got so mad about it. So mad about it. And like stuff like this would happen, and then he would like not talk to me for like 2 or 3 days at a time, like completely ghost me. And like I felt crazy.
Yeah.
And then I also was like, what did I do? Like I didn't think this was that big of a deal.
We just had a conversation.
Yeah, we were just talking. And so I would like go to his house and be like, are you okay? Like is something going on? And he would just like completely ice me out.
Weird.
And he'd be like, I've been thinking a lot about our relationship. Actually, I don't think this is going to work.
Oh my goodness.
And then if I would be like, well, what's going on? Like what happened? What did I do? He would completely ignore me. Like completely stonewall me. And I would like sit there and be like, well, what's going on? Like, let me break through.
Drive yourself mad.
Yeah. Well, and again, like I'm such a like empathetic person that I would sit there and try and like what's going on? Like, how can I be here for you? Like, what is really going on? Like, let me understand. And so then I would sit there and like go crazy because I would like literally be like, I don't understand. Like, why are you not talking to me? What did I do?
Yeah.
And then it would start getting to the blame portion where I would blame myself and be like, I must have done something because like people don't treat people like this. And again, that's where that whole idea of like, I thought everybody had the same morals came in. I was like, people don't treat people like this. So I must have done something so bad to this person. I just want to know.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. So back and forth quite a bit, breaking up, getting back together. And again, I had a lot of guy friends, so I knew that guys wanted to feel pursued as well.
Yeah.
I knew that was a huge like yearning in a lot of men is to feel important and feel pursued. And so I was trying to do that. I was trying to be like, I do care about you.
Yeah.
Like I am here. I was being vulnerable to show. It was just with not a great person.
Yeah.
So a lot of that. And I think that's how kind of abuse snuck its way in there is because I was allowing myself to be blamed. Like I'm radical responsibility, you know?
Yeah.
I was sitting there being like, well, I must have done something. Like
so
there's a part of this.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. And so I think that's how it kind of snuck in there as being like, yeah, you know what? It is your fault.
Gotcha.
Everything's your fault, actually.
So then he got used to doing that.
Yes, yeah. And so I ended up getting pregnant.
How old were you?
I was 18 years old when I got pregnant.
Okay. Where were you at the time?
Oh, this is such a crazy story, too. Oh, man. So I was so ashamed of the fact that I had not waited until marriage because I had been the person who like got a purity ring at like Creation Fest, all that stuff. I was so like so in it, and I knew that sexual sin was like one of the greatest sins you can commit. Like it says so in the Bible.
Why is that? Yeah, explain for the people who don't know.
In the Bible, it's one of the C's. It's 1 Corinthians or it's Colossians.
Okay.
Either one. It says that like sexual immorality is the greatest of sins because it's not only against you and yourself or against another, but it's against your soul.
Yeah, your body. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's not to say like all sin separates us from God,
Of
right?
course.
They're equal on the level that they separate us from God, but some sins hurt us and other people more than they hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I was aware of that. I was super ashamed of it. And so I was hiding a lot of information. And my family also really didn't like him at all. Like, I think they, you know, they could see pretty clearly that this guy was, like, not a great guy.
Did any of them try and talk to you about him?
Yeah. So, like, my sister and my dad had both, like, pulled me aside separately and, like, been like, why are you dating this loser? Basically.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, what on earth do you see in him?
Yeah, how did
like,
you respond to that?
I was very defensive because again, rooting for this guy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going through a lot. He just isn't telling me what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, like give him a break. He's just shy or like stuff's going on. And so I was very defensive of him because I just didn't want things to get worse for him.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on in his life, right? Or I didn't think I knew what was going on in his life. So I was very defensive of him. But yeah, my sister and my dad were both like, hey, like I don't think this guy's great. Like, you know, there's things that you used to do that you're not doing anymore. Like we don't see you anymore. You don't have your personality anymore. You're not going hiking. You're not going camping. You're not doing all the stuff that you love anymore. And like, we're really concerned about it.
Yeah.
And again, I responded very defensive of him because I was like, well, I don't know. Like he's acting really bizarre to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to sit there and like out him if he wasn't ready to talk about whatever's going on in his life. And so I was like, you know, like he's going through a lot and he's really shy. So like, you know, give him a break. Like I promise I'm okay. And so yeah.
Yeah, so back to school, California. Oh, where you were.
Yes, where I was.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I was hiding a lot of the stuff. And so we broke up, got back together. I was in California for college. And we had like a breakup. Like we were done. This was like the longest time we had been done. I think it was a full month. I like shredded all the pictures of him, like did the whole thing.
Yeah.
At this point too, like in California, I was like, best way to move on is to move through. And so I think I like went out on dates and like kissed guys. And I was just like, I'm in college. And I was like, please. So I was like just trying to move on, like trying to date, trying to like fill up all of my time with my friends. Like I was 24/7 doing things all the time to just get out of the house.
Yeah.
But I went back for Thanksgiving break. And when I was back, I remember I think I had texted him or he had texted me. And I was like, we still have stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I get that back? Like, I want my stuff back.
Yeah.
And I remember that we pulled up, in our cars. And I was so pissed and done with him at this point. Because I like pretty much remember, I was like, I don't want to be treated like this. Like, I don't want to be broken up with and get back together. And you stonewall me and you don't talk to me and you treat me like this. And so we like broke up. Saw each other at the cars or whatever, and I gave him his stuff back, and he was like, you miss me, don't you?
You what?
And like, I was like, no, I don't. And he was like, yeah. And like tried to put the, snooze on or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then I got in my head and I was like, is this the cycle I'm stuck in?
Yeah.
And like, there was a part of me that was like, just like screaming at me, like, just stop, like get out. But I was so stuck in the like, he's still a good person. I bet he's in there somewhere and he's just been through so much and I've been through so much with him. So like I need to stick it out. And like that's when the legalism slipped in as well of the like, well, I messed up. Like I had sex with him. So like I have to marry him.
Yeah. Explain what is legalism?
Yes,
what is that?
Legalism. So in Christianity, there's kind of this idea of like, this is what the Pharisees
Yeah.
were guilty of. And this
Yes,
is why
that's a
Jesus,
great example.
yeah, this is why Jesus came to like ridicule the Pharisees, because
Yeah.
what they were doing was living by the law,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't changing anything in their heart.
No.
So they were just checking off
check box,
boxes
yeah.
to make sure that they did everything that looked right, but wasn't actually right.
Yeah.
And so legalism within nowadays Christianity is, again, what I just said is like, I had
Yeah.
sex with him, so I have to marry him.
So now I have to fix it.
That
Yeah.
any person that asks, how many people have you had sex with? I can say one, and it's my husband. Right? Fixes
don't have to-
it.
you don't have
Really
to-
pretty.
Yep.
There's no explanation.
Uh-huh. You don't have to specify when.
Don't have to specify any of that stuff. It was just a pretty little box. And so that was really heavy on me,
Yeah.
of this idea of like, I have to just fix it. And so I was like, any glimmer of hope that like he could change or be a better
Yeah.
person, I was like, I have to do it then.
Yeah.
Like I've just got to stick it through and like
Yep.
figure it out, because this is the person that I have to be with now for the rest of my life. And again, I was so conscious of, because of all the shame, fixing my image and making sure that my presentation was very pretty.
Yeah.
I wanted so badly to just like fix all of it, and I look good, and I'm a good, perfect Christian again, and get that back. And so when he kind of like, when we saw each other at Thanksgiving, I was like, okay, like, I guess we're back together. But I was so anxious about how like my parents would view it. And so there was a part of me that I was like, well, I just want to like fix him and
Yeah.
get him good and like in a healthier spot, and us better together, so that when I retell my
tell them.
parents, they were really happy
Gotcha.
for me and everything is
Yes.
good. And so we were hiding everything, hid our relationship through, came home for Christmas break.
So hard.
And we took a trip up to like Leavenworth, which is the city in Washington, and completely hid it from everybody.
Yeah.
I was 18 at the time. Hid it from everybody. I had told my parents that I was like with one of my friends going up to like Mount Rainier or something. And it was so terrible, because during this trip, there was a huge train accident that happened in Washington.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, that like killed a bunch of people.
That's so
And it was
sad.
on the way to where I was supposed to be
Where
with
you
my
said
friends.
you were, okay, yeah.
And so my dad is like panic calling me,
Oh, no.
freaking out. He ended up calling my friend who I was supposed to be with.
Oh, dude.
And she was like, she's not with me. And so my
Oh.
dad eventually called me and left a message and was like, Katie, we know you're just with him. I just want you to come home. And like, I'm 18, I'm an adult.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
at this point, he's like, I just want you to come home. Like, please come home so we can talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And so horrifying. Like, I'm just sitting in shame.
Oh.
I'm feeling so miserable about myself. Like, I tried so perfectly to line up
Yeah.
all these puzzle pieces so that it looked so pretty and perfect. And,
Yeah.
and like,
It's
again, it was
just
great.
not.
And it wasn't. And then it got, like, found out. And, like, literally, that was the moment that I, like, literally swore to myself. I was like, I am done lying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So I went home. My dad was like, hey, I think we should have the talk. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's too late for that.
You're like, no, thank you.
And that was when I got pregnant.
Okay.
And so I found out, I went back to college, and it was like finals week. And I like was so late for my period or whatever. I was freaking out, and I was like, I'm probably just stressed. And I went and got a pregnancy test anyways. And I like remember walking into the bathroom being like, I like
Is
know.
this like your college dorm bathroom?
Yeah. Yep. The showers are running and everything. And I remember I was like, I just know. Like, I know that I am. And I was like, and I like deserve this. And that's when this like punishment era started. So like up until this, it was like, I'm just trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And then it got to the like, no, I need to punish myself era.
You deserve it.
And so after I found out I was pregnant, I remember being like, I like deserve this. I like remember praying to God, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so ashamed of myself, but I like 100% deserve this, and I will take on whatever that looks like. And I, again, like this just solidified even further the like, I have to marry this dude.
Oh.
And I was like, I deserve it. Like, I don't deserve a happy ending. I don't
It's
deserve a
just
guy
going
that
deeper
treats
and
me
deeper,
right.
yeah.
I don't deserve a guy that like gets me flowers or like shows up. And like, dude, my ex never made an effort for like flowers. He never made an effort for like literally anything. Like, it was so, I just felt so
sad.
uncared for or prioritized. And it was
Did
like,
you see other people's relationships at this point, and were you like questioning, or was it just so
Yeah.
you were too deep into it where you're like, oh, no.
oh, it was rough. I remember after I had the baby and everything, which was its own situation, which was terrible, but like he ended up during my pregnancy, one of my sister's friends, like, got engaged. And I was like, whoa, like, she's known him for like 6 months.
Yeah.
You know? And she was like, yeah, well, like, they're in love, you know? And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
And, like, the bitterness just, like, hit me of the, like, I don't feel that.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel that. I'm not being treated like this. Like, he's adoring her and, like, showering her with love. And, like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
And I was so bitter and so, like, sad. And at this point, like, my dad had basically kicked me out or told me he just doesn't want to see me. And so, like, 3 months, we didn't talk for, like, 3 months. And it was really awful.
And this is during your pregnancy?
Yeah, during my pregnancy. And I was like, couch surfing. And, yeah, I, like, moved in with him and his dad and dad's girlfriend and all this stuff. It was just the lowest point in my life. Like, I remember feeling so, like, pathetic and disgusting. Like, I was so ashamed of myself.
So sorry.
And I was like, again, I had no money. Nobody would hire me. I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
And so I was on all of the
And
programs.
are you done with college at this point?
Yeah, I quit. So I drop out. I'm in nursing program at college, and so I start with anatomy and physiology, which has cadavers.
Yeah.
And formaldehyde can cause miscarriages. And so I'm basically like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I drop out, which was mortifying as well. And then I go home, and all of this stuff happens, and I'm couch surfing. I'm so ashamed. I'm on all of the government programs because I have no money.
Yeah.
And my dad was going to the San Juan Islands for, like, an anniversary trip, and he was taking a bunch of people, and I remember this, and my ex had gone to, like, Hawaii with his whole family, and they didn't want me to come.
I was going to say, without you?
Yeah. Pregnant girlfriend stayed home and watched the house.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was...
Did they even offer?
No, not at all. No. Like, you know, there's levels that I'm like...
the fact that he was okay with that, that's... I mean, we already know his track record and everything, but that's so insane.
No, I stayed home and watched the dogs and house.
That's
and
absolutely insane.
Yep, sat being pregnant and alone and tired, and it was a whole different freaking ballpark. But I think when he got back, he had been, like, complaining that his phone kept dying. And he was like, maybe I need a new phone or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And so he, like, went out to go grab food or something from the kitchen, and his phone was on the bed, and it was, like, playing music really, like, low. And I was like, this idiot, like, of course his phone's dying all the time because he's playing music 24/7. And so I grab his phone and I press, like, pause, and all of a sudden these, like, text messages are just on the screen. And it's this girl, and she's saying, like, oh my gosh, like, you sound like you're so miserable. I'm so sorry you have to be with her. Like, I just miss you so much, then I can't wait to see you. And I was like, what the hell? And if you know me, I can't remember phone passwords to save my life. My husband has told me his phone password
you
30
don't.
times, and I literally, it just, thank you.
Yeah.
I had to Face ID myself on his phone because I am so bad at it.
I get that.
And so I, like, don't know his phone password, but, like, the text messages are there. And so I'm like, what the hell? And he comes back in, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh, the fact that you didn't know his phone password, too, was crazy to me.
No. And so on top of this, I forgot about this until this moment. We were buying a house. My parents had sat us down and been like, we want to, like, start you guys off as a family unit, like, in a good way. So we're going to buy a house, and you guys can live in it.
Is this in Washington?
This is in Washington.
Oh.
And so we, that day, like, 2 hours later, like, I'm pretty sure it was 30 minutes later, we had to leave the house to go do a home showing with my parents.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I, like, sit down, and I'm like, what the frick, dude? And he was like, I'm so sorry. I've been meaning to talk with you. And I was like, about what? And he was like, I just don't know. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I never should have done that. And I was like, okay. And I'm, like, processing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting down and I'm processing, and I'm like, we don't have time for this. Like, we have to leave.
Yeah.
And again, one track mind. I'm like, we have to go. And so I'm packing our bags, and I'm, like, sitting here thinking.
For the house tour.
Yeah, for the house tour. And I'm like, what am I doing? He's cheating on me. And so we, like, go do this house tour, and we're both just kind of, like, silent and separated and all this stuff. And I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And we end the house tour, we go home, and I'm like, what is going on? And he basically explains to me that he's been having this relationship with this girl at his work, which, by the way, he worked at the dealership that my brother-in-law ran. My brother-in-law
crazy.
got him the job. And so, like, my family, like, helped this guy out.
That's crazy.
And he was cheating on me with the girl at his job.
That's crazy.
Flirting with her, like, the whole day at work. Everybody knew. Except for my brother-in-law.
So he mastermind manipulated probably the whole entire office for your brother-in-law not to find out.
Yeah, I have
That's
no
crazy.
idea. I literally don't know, because it could have been like he's just separated or whatever, and just they don't talk. But yeah, like the whole time, and he was like, yeah, like we've met up, and like nothing's happened. I haven't kissed her, nothing like that. But like we would meet up and talk for hours at parking lots, like all night long. Because I had gone to Chelan with my parents.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's when that happened. And I was like, that was like a month ago. What do you mean? So he'd been like doing this the whole month.
Oh, wow.
Whole month. And he was like, yeah, I'm so sorry, but like, I just don't know if I can do this. And I was like,
To
us?
what?
Like our relationship?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, like this is just too much for me. And I was like, okay, well, we're about to have a baby. So let's focus on that right now.
Yeah.
And so I remember, like, my parents were going on the trip to the San Juan Islands for their anniversary.
Yeah.
And they were like, you should just come with us and get some headspace.
Because do your parents know about this going on?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I moved back home to my parents. Like, I called my dad sobbing, and I was like, he cheated on me. I don't know what to do. My dad was like, well, first off, you get the hell out of his house. So I go home to my parents, and we go to the San Juan Islands. And on the ferry ride to the San Juan Islands, I have a panic attack for the first time.
Oof.
And I remember being like, we were just talking about something random. Like, we were like, it's so pretty out today. And like, let's play cards. And I was so relaxed. I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, I start getting really lightheaded and dizzy. And my eyes start to go dark. And I like can't breathe.
Oof.
And I like look at my dad, and my dad is like flipping out. Because at this point, he hasn't been around like pregnant ladies.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh my God.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. She's having the baby. And so he calls the cops. He calls the EMT. The ambulance shows up when we get to dock or whatever, and they like pull me in, and they're like, hey, your oxygen was like scary low levels. Like you likely had a panic attack.
Oof.
You need to like start calming down and breathe, because like if you want this baby to stay, like you need to calm down. But of course my anxiety is rampant right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I go on like an 8-mile hike while pregnant.
That's crazy.
Which was insane.
Yeah.
Which I've done again.
Yeah, which we did do. Okay, yeah, we did do
So,
that.
I don't know what it is.
Completely
I
different
just-
headspace now, though.
Yeah, like third trimester hits me, and I'm like, I need to move.
You're like, I want to hike.
So went on a hike for like 8 miles and did all of that, and it was just awful. I get back home, and I'm living with my parents at this point.
Yeah.
And have the baby. And in the hospital, he was just super impersonal. And very like distant, very like unsupportive.
Ew.
Like we weren't saying I love you anymore or anything like that. And so like I remember I was just desperate for like help in that time, because like you're having a baby, you know, you want to connect with like the person. And so I remember being like, I love you so much, and like I'm so excited. And he like, I think he said it back, but like I could tell it was because of the situation.
Ugh.
It was so gross. It was so awful. I just felt so low and ashamed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to fix this. Like, we're having a baby.
Yeah.
And I remember his mom had called me right before I went into labor and literally told me, she was like, Katy, you need to leave him.
Oh, wow. This is coming from his mom.
His mom.
Oh, geez.
And she was like, I am so ashamed that he did this to you. Oh. I'm so embarrassed. I feel so terrible. You should never be treated this way. You should just leave him.
Wow.
And I remember being like, I was just so confused because there were so many narratives, so many people. And again, that legalism was hitting me so hard of like, no, I have to make it right. I have to fix it. Like now I've got a baby with him. Like, what am I going to do? Be the 19-year-old single mom who like, you know, like I'm okay. I don't want to do that life.
Yeah.
I wanted to fix the image. I was so worried about the image. And so we lived separate. And then a couple months in, we got back together, and his parents decided to help us buy a house.
Okay.
So we bought a house.
Where?
And that was the same place in Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. In Olympia, Lacey area, and bought a house and lived together. And this is when the like, my flesh was warring with my soul.
Really?
And I started being like, I don't want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to live this way. Like if we're going to be together, like we need to be married because I don't want to do this. And if we're not married, then I want to like move out. I want my own place, or I want to go live with my parents. And I remember there'd be times like back and forth. Again, we were together for a total of 5 years before he proposed.
Wow. That's a long time.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
It was a long time. 4.5 years before he proposed. And so there was a lot of back and forth of the like, I can't do this. And like,
that's a lot.
It was
I can't
awful.
Imagine how mentally draining that is.
It was terrible. And his mom, well, he would say like, if you move out or you sleep in a separate room, like my mom's going to notice. And then she's going to like say like, well, are you guys having problems? And then I'm going to have to explain to her and like.
Again, putting the burden on you.
Yeah. And he would somehow, I don't even know how he would explain it, but he would somehow say that like, if we don't sleep together or sleep in the same room, then like we have to break up.
Weird.
And we're not getting back together.
Weird.
Yeah, it was just very weird. And the like mental gymnastics that he would like jump through somehow made sense to me.
You're like, oh, okay.
But I was like now, like 2020 vision, right? I was like, what?
You're like that literally adds up to nothing.
Yeah, but like he made it so convincing of the like, no, like if you're giving up on our relationship, then we're done. And that's how it felt.
And again, you're in a house with him with a baby.
Yeah. Yep. And perfect image. We had so many friends and so many parties and tried to do everything. And and so there was so much back and forth, so much of all of this stuff. And like,
yeah, wait, that's a really good question. At this moment, with baby in the house in Washington, what are your friends like? Are your friends here just thinking you guys are this perfect couple? Do they know what's going on?
A lot of them knew he wasn't great.
Okay.
I don't think they thought anything about his personality. They just didn't like him a ton.
Yeah.
Like they were like, he's really weird, off-putting. He's kind of shy. None of them, like he didn't really connect with any of them.
Okay.
He didn't try, to be honest. Like anytime I had have my friends over, he would go hide. And like if I came up and was like, hey, what's going on? Like you should come down and come say hi. He would kind of like chew me out and be like, well, maybe if you had better friends that weren't actual idiots, I would hang out with them. And so like he was the one that was like behind all of my friendship breakups up until this point. Like he was the one that was like, you should just stop being friends with them because they're blah, blah, blah. And he would name call. He would say the nastiest things about people. And I just remember feeling so like down in the dumps about like, man, I don't think I have bad friends. I think these people are great, but like he really hates them.
Yeah.
And so I'd feel bad. Like if I had them over, he would constantly berate them and hide upstairs.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't want that.
And so like I just felt at odds. And then he would also say like, well, you keep inviting these people over you know I'm not comfortable with. So like,
again, pinning it on you.
Yes, and so he'd constantly be like, well, like how is this healthy for our relationship? You know, and so again, I'm making me feel like I can't have the friends that I'm having.
Yeah.
But my friends were great. Like they cared about me, they loved me, they appreciated me. Like we did so much stuff together that was so fun. And like,
how was it with a baby?
It was great. They were so great with the baby. Like they loved her. She was like the first baby of the friend group. And so they just adored her. And she was like, it was just so wonderful to like have her. And like, I had such supportive friends in that sense.
Yeah.
And we did stuff that like, I could either take her with or like Rob would stay home with her. And so, yeah, like my friends were great. I don't think they knew Jack, you know. I just kept saying the same excuses that I would say when my parents would ask, which is like, he's just really shy. Like, I think he's just going through stuff. And, so, and I would push too about marriage with my ex and be like, hey, like I really want to just get married. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I know what's right. I know that it's not right.
Tie the bow.
I was like, I know it's not right to sit here and live together with this situation. Like, I want to just get married. And when I would bring that up, he would say, oh, well, you've added 3 more months to your timeline because you asked for it.
That's crazy. That's actually so rude and so sad. I can't imagine hearing that.
It was just so diminishing.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt so like...
Dude, because then you're walking on eggshells. You can't mention anything at all.
I couldn't.
You're trying to have a respectful conversation of like, okay, timeline. What does this look like? Couples usually discuss that together and they get excited. Oh, that makes me angry.
Yeah. And at this point, stuff had kind of progressed to where I had a job. I was a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And I was making great money.
Yeah.
And every time I got a paycheck, like my name wasn't on any of the bills. My name wasn't on the house. My name wasn't on his cars or any of the cars.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make a payment, I would just take out cash and we'd put it in like a safe that I like, again, password wise, I don't remember passwords very well. And he like, I don't like remember him telling me where it was, what the password was, or like making sure I had it.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't, for all intents and purposes, I don't know the password to the safe.
Yeah.
He's not making sure I know the password, but he's making sure I take my money out and I put it in there.
Interesting.
And so I'm taking all my cash out, putting it in the safe. We're doing this like cash budget. And if we like made extra payments on the house, it would come from like my extra income, but like it would end up coming out of like his account to pay towards it.
Interesting.
Because he had access to it. I didn't.
So he'd put your money in his account to make the payments.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So just, super wonky.
Did you have access to the bank account?
I don't remember when we combined accounts at this point. I think we had combined accounts, but he got income through his personal, and then he would transfer money into a mutual if I needed access to it.
Okay.
So very separated on that side of things. All the bills were separate. I had no access to any of them. He didn't put me on any of them.
Okay.
But my money was used for everything. So like if his car needed to go get new tires, like that came out of the cash.
Okay.
And yeah. Okay. Interesting way of doing it, but that's where that kind of stuff came into play. And then it would get into the like, well, I need money to go get groceries. And he would make me send like an itemized list, like pictures of the costs of everything.
Oh, wow.
Or like the cart total.
Yeah.
And he would transfer the exact amount into savings because I wasn't allowed to get anything extra.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And like I've got a tight budget now.
Yeah.
You've got a tight budget now.
Oh, yeah.
But like if Joey sat there and was like, "Can I get a Monster?" I'd be like, "Yeah, toss it in."
Me and my matchas, I'm like, Kyle, and he's like, "Oh, fine."
Yeah, like there's strictness and then there's like control.
Yes.
And there's very different. And so I wasn't allowed to get like anything that was excess of it.
Yeah.
I ran everything through him, and like I had my own money to an extent. There was like things that I could go do or could go get, but there was definitely like an authorization process through it. And like, he would, it was just not great. And so, that's like kind of where I'm at this point in Washington and everything that's going on.
Okay. So that's kind of the fall. Where does the flood come into play?
Yeah, so 2020 was a really rough year. Obviously, like a lot of domestic violence kind of peaked in 2020 because everybody was in lockdown.
Yeah.
There was no outs anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to church. I couldn't go hiking. I couldn't go do all the stuff with my friends that I normally did to escape my life. I was now stuck at home. And the tension just got like a lot higher during COVID. I'd have friends over all the time. I started a Bible study, and that Bible study was very like good for me, like very good for me. We read through the Bible like 9 months in 9 months.
That's
and it was
awesome.
Incredible. And the friends in it were really, really great and like really pushed me and asked me the hard questions of like, well, why are you still in this situation?
Yeah.
Why are you not just getting married? And so I was putting more pressure on him.
Yeah.
And being like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm serious. I'm done. And at this point, I had left him, I think twice.
After baby?
Yeah, maybe 3 times after baby. I had like gone back to my parents for a weekend or gone back to my parents for a week or whatever.
Yeah.
There was one time I got a hotel. I was so done. And I didn't want my parents to know that this had happened again. And so I went and I like got a hotel, and I remember telling him like, I am not coming home until you treat me better because I am done with this.
Yeah.
And I like remember he did the same thing every single time, which is like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know I shouldn't be treating you this way. Like my words just got the best of me. But like, you know, please come home. Like I promise I'm different.
Yeah.
So I'd come home and it would be better for 2 weeks. And then he would go straight back to it. And he was very like demeaning and kind of like a verbal way for the most part. Like it was very much like if I took a mirror selfie, he was like, oh, vain, aren't we?
Oh.
And stuff like that. And my friend had red lipstick and she like would wear red lipstick because it looks really great on her. And he would like in front of her, he'd be like, everybody knows why women wear red lipstick. It's to emulate that they're having sex because they're whores. And like stuff like that, which is like, again, he like read it from some statistic of like why women wear red lipstick. And it like had a scientific reasoning. But he was so like,
dude, your poor friend.
Yeah, she laughed. She like thought he was joking.
But you're like, oh girl, he's serious.
Yeah, yep. And so there was a lot of that would kind of fly as he would like say really rude things, but everybody thought like he was just joking.
Oh, it's so funny.
And he would run with it, right? Like he'd be like, oh yeah, haha. you know? Like, I'm
Ew.
so funny. But then behind closed doors, he would, like, mean it.
That's crazy.
You know? So, yeah, lots of verbal stuff going on at this point of, like, I'm so vain, I'm so selfish, I'm so greedy, I'm, like, such a crazy person.
Yeah.
He used the word crazy a lot. And so it got really bad, and Washington itself got really bad during COVID.
Of course, yeah.
And he just was done with it. He didn't want to live there anymore. And so he was like, well, we're moving. We're going to pick up all our stuff and we're going to move. And it's either going to be Tennessee or it's going to be Idaho. And I remember being like, okay.
What?
Okay. I'm like trying to process because I had just built up this amazing friend group. I had a Bible study. I was doing really successful in my job to the point where I was like starting to gain independence for like the first time ever. And so I was like, okay, well, like, let's look at Idaho. Yeah. Idaho's closer. Yeah. We can come home to friends. We can come home to see our family. It's like an 8-hour drive. And so we go visit Idaho. And I remember on the drive home, like, it was so fun. Yeah. And at this point, too, I had convinced our friends to come with us. Like, awesome. We literally went everywhere with our friends. Yeah. I invited my one like, best friend. I invited to literally everything. She went to, like, Coeur d'Alene with us to go visit wedding venues. Yeah. Like, she literally was there for every single step of the way because I was like, I need buffer. Like, I can't do this alone with him. Yeah. So we convinced our friends to go with us on this trip to visit Idaho. Yeah, convinced them. They were thinking about moving, too. And so on the drive home, I remember, like, just like sobbing. Oh. And it was a long drive. It was an 8-hour drive. And so there was 2 separate incidents that like really hit me. But one was I told him I was laughing and he was like, well, what are you laughing at? And I was like, oh, I was Snapchatting Bethany telling her that like I saw something about Steve Irwin again today and it made me cry. And so I was like sobbing because I saw a Steve Irwin thing and he was like, ew, like why did you have to tell me that? Like that's so pathetic. Like when you cry, it makes me lose so much respect for you. And I remember being like, gosh.
That's
like,
crazy.
Ouch, dude. And so, yeah, we're driving home and it like hits me harder that I'm like alone. Yeah. And if I move to Idaho, I don't have anybody. I have no friends. I have no family. I have no job. Yeah. And so I just beg with him at this point. I'm like, please, like I can't do this. Like I can't leave my friends. I can't leave my family. I can't leave everything I've ever built or known. Yeah. And like I can't do this. Yeah. And I remember he looks at me and he goes, well, I'm moving to Idaho. So either you can move with me or I will see you in court for our daughter and I will get her because I have an actual job.
That's crazy.
So I moved to Idaho.
Oh my gosh. That's insane. Leaving everybody and everything. Because real estate's not something where you're like, oh, I'll just transfer to this branch down here. You have to build a clientele.
No, you have to start from scratch. Yeah. And my friends were having a hard time with it. My family was having a really hard time with it. Yeah. His family was having a really hard time with it and didn't understand. And so I remember the day we were meant to move, we were aligning houses, buying a house, everything. I had sold his house in Washington, our house in Washington, commission free, because again, my money would go straight into buying the house. And so I didn't take commission. And I sold it perfect timing, bought the house perfect timing. We had to be there for an inspection. And it was like an 8-hour drive. And his mom was like, well, just stay at our house for the night before and then you can leave so I can see you guys on the way out. Okay. And we get up late. Breakfast is late. And I'm like, we got to go. And she's like, well, why don't you just stay for lunch? You know, that way you don't have to buy it. And I was like, okay. And then at that point, she's like, well, it's late. You shouldn't go. Weird. Yeah. She's just having a really hard time with us leaving. And I was like, me too, honey. Yeah.
You're like, okay, we'll stay.
And so I'm like, I need to go. Like, we're gonna, like, we have meetings tomorrow. Like, I have to go. Yeah. So I pack up an 8-hour drive. Yeah. I pack up all the stuff and I'm gonna drive one of the cars and just go. And he can just meet me there. Cause I'm like, I like gotta go. Yeah. And so I get in the car and she like comes running out and she was like, are you crazy? Like, it's 8 p.m. Like, or something. It wasn't like 8, but she's like, it's an 8-hour drive. If you leave now, you're going to get there at 10 p.m. Yeah. That's late. I don't want you driving late. My grandbaby's in the car. And I was like, okay, well, I tried to get an early start, but you guys wouldn't let me. Weird. And she was like, absolutely not. Like, you're not driving my grandbaby. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I need to go.
And you're like, I'm her mom.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm leaving. I need to go right now. Yeah. And I remember he came out to try to like desensitize the situation or whatever, dissolve the situation. And he like literally like in front of his mom was like, actually, Katy, like I think that like it's probably not a good idea for you to go right now. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm like sitting here sobbing, and I was like, I can't waste any more money. I have spent all of my money on this stuff.
Yeah.
I need to go. Like, I have stuff I need to do. I have a timeline. I have like meetings with job people and like all of that kind of stuff lined up. And so I like start heading out. I get 30 minutes in, and he calls me and he's like, my mom and I talked, and like, it would be better if I went with you because it'd be safer. So can you turn around? And I was like, sure, let me just add another hour now onto the drive time because I'm going back and then back.
Yeah.
That's safer. But like, okay. And so I go back, we get each other, we head here, and we settle in. And at this point, like my body, you can tell, like my body is reacting to the stress and anxiety. I have like giant open wounds on my forehead that are like just from picking and scraping. My back is like just absolute.
All the stress signs, everything.
Just absolutely flared up and like so much acne. I'm just a mess.
Yeah.
And so we moved September. He had finally proposed to me of like December the year previously. So we were like 9 months into an engagement. We were going to get married January.
Okay.
And so that was 2022 that our wedding was set for. We moved to Idaho September of 2021. And I mean, it's all the same things. Like he convinced me that I can't put my name on the title of the house because it was better for my credit.
Weird. Dude, that's so weird.
It's like literally when I like say it
makes
now,
no sense.
It makes no sense in the world.
In
But
the
when you're
moment,
in it,
I can't imagine being like,
what are you
let's
gonna
have another
do?
argument.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Argue with him about?
Yeah, no.
Like, he was such a person, too, that anytime I would call into question anything he would say, he'd be like, yeah, well, look it up. Where's your proof? Where's an example? Show me the research. Like, it was very, like, I had to be so prepped and ready to make any sort of statement.
Yeah.
And he was also, at this point, he would show me videos of, like, you're not supposed to gossip about your spouse. You can't talk negatively about them in front of anybody to protect your marriage or protect your relationship. And I was like, okay. But he was to the extreme where, like, if stuff happened, I wasn't allowed to, like, bring it up. And so, like, if he had said something or done something that was hurtful, I can't talk about that.
Because that's gossip.
Because it's gossip.
Interesting.
Which I now am like, no, you just don't talk about the characteristics about your spouse that you're like not a fan of. Yeah. Right? Like, hey, like, oh God, my spouse like farts so loud, right? Like, don't drag them in front of people. Yeah. But like, if you're like, hey, like my spouse and I had this fight and it was really hurtful. Yeah. I don't know what to do. That's different. That's not different. Gossip. You're seeking counsel. Yeah. But I wasn't allowed to do that either. Interesting. And so... yeah, we moved September, and all this is going on. My name's not on anything. My name's not on the house. His name is on my car. All this stuff. And so it's just getting really bad. And the week before our wedding, I finally tell him, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I don't want to live this way. I'm sure you don't want to live this way. Like, we should go to counseling and, like, get some help. Because, like, I know that we can love each other and we can care about each other. And at this point, too, like, he wasn't claiming he was a Christian at all. Okay. Like, we were going to church, but, like, he hadn't been baptized. He hadn't said that he, like, loves Jesus. Like, you couldn't see the fruits of it in his life at all. No, he never read the Bible. Yeah, he just, like, wasn't a Christian, but, like, was going to church with me. Yeah. And so that was, like, it's enough. And so I was like, again, check boxes. Yeah. And so I was like, it's better. It's progress. And so... yeah, January, right before the wedding, I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. Like, I know that we can, like, love each other at least, you know? And we can be better. And, like, I want romance. Like, I want somebody to like me and, like, pursue me. And I remember I told him that, and he was like, Katy, I'm never going to love you like that. When is it going to get through to you that we're just going to be roommates for the rest of our lives? And you need to just get used to that. And I crashed out hard.
And this is how many days before your wedding?
I think a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so I was just sobbing. And again, I was financially okay at this point. Like, I had some money that was mine and was able to set some stuff aside, but it was still very, very controlling in that sense. Like, we were making great money. And now that I've, like, been in my own situation, paying my own bills and stuff like that, our financial situation should have been perfect. Like, I should have been able to, like, do anything I wanted to.
Interesting.
And
he just didn't allow it.
No, like, and there was just, again, this big, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah. But also, I'm going to drop $1,500 to make sure my truck gets fixed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the hell?
That makes sense, yeah.
And so week before the wedding, he drops that bomb on me and I crashed out hard.
Yeah.
I called like everyone.
Yeah.
And I called all the vendors and I was like, I'm calling off the wedding. We're done.
Yeah.
And I was so ashamed.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do this, you know, like I can't live like this, but also like I can't be this person. I have nobody here, you know? And so I call everybody, and my parents, again, my dad had tried so hard to get me out of the situation already.
Yeah.
And we burned bridges there. And so he was very much like, whatever you want to do, sweetie.
Yep. He's
You know,
he's
very
done with it.
neutral.
Yep.
He's very like, I'm whatever you want to do. It's not my life, it's your life.
Yeah.
And so his mom ended up calling me, and I remember she was like, you are being so selfish right now. Everyone is spending so much money on you. Everybody's taking so much time to come out to see you, and you're just getting cold feet. He didn't mean anything that he said. He's just nervous too, and you're being so selfish. You need to think about more than just yourself right now. And I was like...
So what, if anything, changed between that phone call that you got from his mom of like, leave him, I'm so sorry, to the like, you're being selfish?
I don't want to air other people's dirty laundry.
Yeah, of course.
But her life, I would say, was very similar to mine. Not in an identical way, but she had stayed with guys that had cheated on her repeatedly.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've never talked to her about everything that happened. But I remember, this is horrifying, and like, I don't know if she's going to listen to this. I don't even know if she knows this, but we went down to visit them when Mia was only 3 months old.
Yeah.
To California with her and her husband, and we were driving his stepdad's car, and messages popped up from a girl.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, explicit messages.
Whew.
And I remember being like, oh my God, like, we have to tell your mom. Like, oh my God, we have to tell your mom. Like, he's cheating on her again. And I remember that he was like, this is not my business. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love her. I care about her. How could you not, you know? Like, how could you not tell her what is going on right now? Yeah. That's insane, you know? And I don't know if she ever found out. I have no idea what happened there. But I know that she's stayed with him.
Okay.
I don't know where their marriages are or their life. Like, again, it's a whole different situation. But I think there was definitely, like, a lot of that going on as well that influenced that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wedding. So do you go through with the wedding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got pretty drunk. I got married. It was a terrible day.
So sorry.
The wedding photographer was literally like, hey, pretend like you guys love each other. Like, run to each other like you love each other. And he was like bland. And I remember she was like, or don't, like under her breath.
Awful.
And it was just so terrible. And like, and later I found out after everything that I had 4 separate friends that felt the pull to come up to me and tell me not to do it. My friends and his friends. His friends had come up to me afterwards as well and said like, hey, I feel like I should have told you not to do this. But I did it anyways. Got through it. We were married. Went home, and probably a couple weeks in, maybe a month in, I was like, I like can't do this. Like, this is not good. This is not healthy. Like, can we go to counseling? Can we go to therapy? And he basically responded with like, well, you can go to therapy because you're the one that has issues.
Jeez.
But I'm not going to therapy because I don't need it.
Ooh.
And if you're going to go to therapy, you're paying for it yourself. So me and my no job.
Yeah.
So I got a job.
In Idaho, right?
Yes, in Idaho. And I was like an assistant to a real estate agent. And I went to therapy. And she basically spent months convincing me that I was being abused. I just had no idea.
How was that to hear it from like a licensed professional?
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time being really careful picking my therapist. I wanted to make sure that she was biblically sound.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to just tell me, like, what do you feel like doing? You know, she was going to, like, reprimand me if I was in the wrong for things. I wanted to be called out. I was, again, radical self-improvement. I was like, I must be doing something to be treated this way.
So you're looking in, like, every single area of your life at this point of, like, what is it, you know?
And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm getting plugged in at my church.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do everything I'm doing. And so at the time, like, I'm serving at the coffee bar and I'm doing it all the time. And I'm going to a young adults thing and, like, getting out of the house, trying to make friends. I'm going dancing. I'm going paddleboarding. I'm doing all of these things to just, like, get a life and make friends and, like, start the cycle over again for myself. And I convinced him that we should sign up for this program for married couples through the church that we were going to. And he agrees. And we go through, and this is when, like, the stuff comes to light.
Yeah.
And so I remember specifically there was one week, and this was the week that, like, my therapist as well was like, Katy, like, I hear you, that you, like, don't believe that you could ever be treated this way because, like, you're not a victim. You know, you think you're too strong to be abused. But I'm telling you right now, if you had a friend that was going through the same thing, how would you react? And I was like, oh, yeah, no, like, I get that now. And so she was trying to explain to me, like, I think you've got a case for both sides. Like, you can stay with him and try and make it work. But you've said that you've left before. And I left again October. I, like, went and got a, like, Airbnb and was
that in Idaho? Or?
Yeah, that was in Idaho at this
still
point.
In
so
Idaho
I left him again and been like, I'm not coming back till you treat me better. So, like, this is all still, like, progressing this way. And so she spends this whole time being like, Katy, like, you've got arguments for both, arguments for staying, arguments for leaving. Because at this point, like, he's being abusive. I know this, you know this. And she said, the only thing I would tell you is that you've got a daughter. She's 3. She's not going to be 3 for forever.
Yeah.
If you're going to leave, you should do it now. And she was like, I think that, like, you're pretty aware that he's got a track record. At this point, we've been together for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's got a track record of not changing.
Yeah.
You've given him opportunities. You've shown him how important it is and how serious it is, and he's still not changed.
Yeah.
And so it is completely up to you. And I will help you through whatever decision you decide to do. But you need to be certain, because there's not just you on the line anymore. Your daughter is looking for you for what love is.
Yeah.
It is your responsibility to show her.
Yeah.
And she's going to learn whether you tell her that or whether she sees it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's like, you've got a daughter. Like, she's going to look to you.
Yeah.
It's your choice to influence her. But either way, she's going to look at how your husband treats you for what she should look for in a husband, and look for in marriage. And so at this point, I think it's like March, but I convinced him to go through this marriage course together through the church. It's bringing up a lot of, like, past hurt, past resentment. We're having to do homework at home together.
Yeah.
And there was a question that was like, do you have anything that you haven't forgiven the other for throughout this whole thing? And I bring up privately at home first before we go to group. And I say, hey, yeah, like, I never forgave you for not respecting my boundaries when it came to, like, sex before marriage.
Yeah.
I'm still, like, really bitter about that because, like, that really sucked. And I felt pressured and I didn't feel, like, appreciated or listened to or cared about.
Yeah.
And I remember he, like, literally looked at me and he was like, oh my God, Katy, like, can you move on? That's a you problem if you can't move past that already.
That's
that has
crazy.
Nothing to do with me. And I just sobbed. I was breaking down in tears. And of course he gets up and walks away because I'm embarrassing if I'm crying. And we get to group, which is like 2 hours later. And again, they're going around the circle being like, how was this homework? And he knows I'm going to say the truth. Like, I'm done lying. And so it gets to him and he's like, oh, I just got to be honest. Like, I responded really poorly earlier. We had homework and I responded really poorly to Katy. And I'm really sorry about it. I feel really bad about it. But he didn't look at me once. He looked at everyone else in the group and was like, yeah, I feel really bad about how I treated her. I feel embarrassed.
Ew.
Yeah, didn't look at me once. And I explained the whole situation.
You're sitting here like, hello?
And I remember afterwards, all of the girls came up to me in the group and were like, are you okay? And one of them pulled me aside and was like, hey, I've dealt with a lot of narcissists in my life before and abusers. I'm seeing a lot of signs.
Yeah.
His apology was not an apology.
No.
And I'm really worried about you. Are you okay? And that's when I was like,
oh.
okay, like there's no hiding this anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's clear. This is for me, this is like confirmation from a person I'm telling privately and a person who's seeing his behavior.
Double confirmation.
And so I was like, okay, all right, like loud and clear, God. I'm aware this isn't just a perspective issue anymore. And so I basically I tell, oh God, when was this? I think this was June. June, all this is going on. And I've basically, May is when the big blow up happens with group or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I need to start planning and prepping. And so I set aside money. I start looking up, researching, figuring out what to do, figuring out what Idaho's laws are about child's, all that kind of stuff. Because I'm like, I don't know what I have rights for. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. So I'm kind of privately prepping and planning and trying to reconcile this with my life and like doing a lot of research on divorce, doing a lot of research in like the Bible, reading a lot. And I remember I was like, okay, this is okay. And we got into some fight. I think I had gone down to Arizona to visit some of my friends, and I get back and he's picking me up from the airport. And he parks in some handicap spot to pick me up. And there's a guy that has a handicap sticker behind him pulling in. And I was like, hey, move forward. Like somebody's trying to get the spot. They're honking at him. All this stuff is going on. And he rolls the window down and he starts yelling at me. And he's like, will you just hurry the F up? Like get in the car. And I was like, well, there's a person. And he's like, can you move on? Like, come on, let's go. And the lady behind me that's just standing behind me is like, well, isn't he a gem?
Oh.
And I was just like...
Everybody's seeing it and saying things.
Yeah,
oh,
and so it's
awful.
it's obvious at this point.
She doesn't know me.
And so, that was early July. June, just around the same time, I had 2 friends visit. And both of them were around when he had said some really interesting comments about caring about me and stuff like that aren't normal to say about your spouse.
Yeah.
And so both of them were publicly, they were like, what the hell? What? And so it was clear that he's not hiding it very well anymore. Yeah. This is getting escalated. He's saying meaner stuff and he's not hiding it.
Yeah.
And so the July thing happens, he picks me up and I get in the car and we get home from him picking me up and I go, I just feel like you hate me.
Yeah.
You just hate me. You hate my heart. And he was like, Katy, you feel that way? Because I do. I hate you. I hate everything you do. Everything that you do annoys me. I don't love you. And I'm pretty sure it was that same night too. I was like, okay, I am leaving you. I'm not changing my mind this time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to this young adults thing. Yeah. Process.
And you were already putting money and stuff aside,
yes,
right?
I had planned everything and I was semi-confident on I can figure this out at this point.
But this is when you told him.
But this is when I told him. And I think 2 weeks prior, I met my husband, Joey. And that was crazy. Yeah. Crazy situation. I didn't think anything of him. Of course. Literally nothing of him. I had so many guy friends that just folded into our friend group at this point. Because now I have probably 10 people that I'll rotationally see at this young adults event. We'll go dancing or we'll go do paddleboarding or volleyball or whatever. It's summer.
Yeah.
So we're doing so many things together. And he just comes up to our table and is like, hey.
So this is kind of the start of your rainbow.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. The flood doesn't stop before the rainbow. It rains in order to see one. So, yeah. It was downpouring for me.
Yeah. Torrential.
And he just walks up to our table and is like, hey, I need friends. And I'll let him share his story if we ever have him guest
I would love
on
that.
it. But
that'd be fun.
I literally didn't even bat an eye. I think the guy next to him, I was more like, whoa, that guy's tall. And it wasn't even a ooh, it was whoa. So yeah, I didn't even notice him. I feel really bad because he's like, you didn't notice me? But no, I didn't. I was so entrenched in pain. And so joins our friend group, all this stuff. I go on vacation. And he just kind of gets added into group chats and all that kind of stuff. We're talking and we're just, I'm sharing oh, I went to this vacation, got to see my friends. It's so fun. And I get back and that week that I told my ex I'm done, I'm leaving you. I go to the young adults event.
Yes.
We'll cut it.
Yeah.
I go to this young adults event and I get to the parking lot and all of our friends text me at the same time. Hey, I'm so sorry I can't come tonight. He is the only person that was able to show up.
Okay.
So Joey, my husband, only person that's able to show up. And I'm like, yay. I was like, this guy that I like literally don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure I knew him for 2 weeks at this point.
Okay.
And we did not talk. Like, I had tried to set him up with one of my other friends because she thought he was cute. And so I was just like, this is so great. Like, I needed my girlfriends. I needed my friends that I like knew to be here.
Yeah.
And the topic that night was about the sanctity and holiness of marriage.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, here, I gotta go in. So I go in, the message is awful. I'm like shredding paper, you know, like I'm a sinner in a church. I'm like, surprised I'm not bursting into flames at this point. I am sweating so bad. I am like on the brink of tears every single second. I'm so anxious. So I'm shredding all these pieces of paper, and he's like looking over at me like, what the hell is this chick's problem? And I stand up and like somebody bumps me and like all of the paper pieces, like a billion pieces
a movie
of
moment,
paper.
literally.
No, I literally, and I'm like, you know, like trying to suck up all these pieces of paper so that no one
just on the ground.
I am like seriously a hot mess.
Yeah.
Like I am sweaty. I'm like, I smell terrible. It was just a total mess. And so I leave, and we were walking out, and he's like, hey, are you good? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm so good. I'm totally fine. And he's like, yeah, okay. You want to try that again? And I was like, again, being told, if you ever talk about anything going on in our relationship, it's gossip, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I am setting that aside because I need to leave.
Yeah.
I need accountability. I need somebody to know where I'm at, what's going on, and I need safety. And so like I genuinely need to start talking about this with people so that I can like hold myself accountable to actually leaving.
Yeah.
And also so that people know what's going on, so that if I go quiet, they check on me.
They know. Yeah.
And so I tell him everything.
Yeah.
We spend like a full hour just in the parking lot, and I'm just like sobbing and telling him my whole life story. And he is like, hey, this is like super random, but my mom went through the same thing, same thing, when I was 3 years old. Can I like give her number to you? And I was like, okay, sure. And so super random, but I was like, okay, that's fine. Like some stranger, I'll take her number. So I get her number, and she's basically like the confidant at this time. Like I'm texting her everything that's going on. She calls me. I'm telling her like, hey, I'm so freaked out. Like he's going to take my daughter. And she's the one that's being like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You will be okay.
Thank goodness.
Like you're not going to be alone.
But it felt so
like
good to
even
hear
if I
that.
have to fly out there, like you're not going to be alone. You'll be okay. You've got a support system. You're okay.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like so grateful. Like it's just so wonderful to have somebody else speaking life into this situation.
Yeah.
And I remember she's like hearing the whole story, and she's like, it sounds like you guys never really like liked each other, let alone loved each other. And I was like, no. And she's like, it sounds like he's a pretty terrible person. I was like, yeah, he was. And she's like, well, I would love to have you as a daughter-in-law. So I have a really cute son. You may know him. She's like, I would love to have you as a daughter-in-law. If you don't
so
like him,
cute.
I've got 2 others. You just got to wait a little bit because they're under 18. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay. I don't know how I feel about that right now, but that like surfaced stuff that I was like, okay, like he's cute, he's sweet, he's been very caring. There's mixing feelings right now. So like, I'm just going to clarify. And so I like let Joey know, and I was like, hey, I'm going through this stuff right now. I don't think this is a great time for us to see each other because like feelings are surfacing. And so like, I just want to be like careful.
Yeah.
So he actually moves up his leaving date because he was supposed to leave like early August. He like leaves like late July, mid-July.
Yeah, because he's not from Idaho.
No, he's not.
Time.
So he's from New York. And so he like leaves like early July, mid-July or whatever, because he's like, I'm not gonna make this messier. And so he leaves, and I am going through like this awful divorce. And I cannot, for the life of me, find a place to stay until like September.
Yeah.
And so July, August,
that's a while.
and like mid-September. So it was like 2.5 months of like being separated from this guy.
Yeah.
And living in the same house. And it was just atrocious. Like, so at this time too, because we were living together, he would start like, again, the tensions were really, really high. And he would just start like throwing Bible verses at me. Of like, well, 2 Christians don't get divorced, and I'm a Christian, so what does that make you?
That's crazy.
And a lot of the like, he would do a lot of the like, well, the Bible says that wives are supposed to submit to their husbands, And I would like
Ew.
literally, I'd be like, yeah, well, it also says that like husbands are supposed to love their wives like Christ loves the church until death.
Yeah.
And he was like, where does it say that? And I was like, the paragraph after.
Keep reading.
Like, it was so clear and obvious that he was like manipulating the Bible to like try and trap me
So
or like
interesting.
shame me or make me feel like I was like doing this awful, awful thing.
Yeah.
And I remember as like a last Hail Mary, he like confessed to me that he had been lying about watching pornography the last 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah. And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
okay.
That was it.
I am so disrespected in this relationship. You do not care about me. You do not love me. You don't even like me.
Yeah.
I don't need to be here. You're not consenting to live with me.
Yeah.
You're making my life a living hell.
Yeah.
You're like treating me like I'm a second-class citizen. And so I was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, we're done. Like, we're not fixing anything. We're not moving forward. We're done.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we need to go talk to the church. Like, can you at least do that with me? And I was like, sure.
So you never wanted to go, but all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like,
so he like goes to the like leaders of this marriage study group or whatever that we're in, and he tells them that I'm leaving him because of unbiblical reasons.
oh.
So the head of that program pulls me into some like broom closet or something with this other guy. And they're like, so tell us your
Strange.
situation. And I was like, well, we're getting a divorce. Well, I don't even know why we're here right now. And
Yeah.
she was like, well, explain to me why you're getting a divorce. I just don't understand. And
You're
so
like,
I'm telling her my life
whoa.
story.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, like it was God's plan for you
Whoa.
to be married to him. And I was like, no, nope, no. God never plans for me to sin. God doesn't want me to suffer. God doesn't want me to be punished for anything.
Yeah.
God wanted me to be married to a godly man who was equally yoked with me, that valued me and respected me.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't care.
Yeah.
That was what happened.
Yeah.
And I remember I told her that, and she was like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, like, yeah, 100%. Like, no, that's true. I'm just meaning that, like, God doesn't want you to get divorced. And I was like, I don't know if you can say that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get that God hates divorce, but God also hates abuse.
Yeah.
God also hates, like, his daughters being treated like this.
Yeah.
And I
Continuously.
tried.
Yeah.
I was like, I tried.
Yeah, you did.
You can't say I didn't. Like, I sat through all of it. I went to therapy. I went to all of the stuff that I could do. I tried to better myself. And it had gotten to the point where I was leading up to the decision that I was going to divorce him. I was literally praying to God for cancer. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I just want out.
Yeah.
And I never saw divorce as an option because I never wanted to be the girl that was married at 19 and divorced at 23.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just can't do this. Like, I literally can't do this. I just want cancer. Somebody hit me with a car. And that was what, like, when I told my therapist, that's what triggered her to be like, Katy, that's suicidal.
Yeah.
You're just not wanting to be the one that pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I couldn't be suicidal. I'm not that sad. And she was like, Katy, you want your life to be over because of your situation. And I was like, well, yeah. But I don't know. I wouldn't do anything. And she was like, I know that. But I also know that, like, that can change. And so, yeah, I basically left that meeting being like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and tell me all of this stuff. And so I'm serving at church still. And I remember she, like, pulls me aside. I don't remember if this was before that conversation or after, but she pulls me aside and, like, coffee bar one morning and is like, hey, I needed to talk to you. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, we have heard that, like, you're getting an unbiblical divorce and you've been, like, going to this young adults group. And so we're going to pull you off of serving. And I was like, excuse me? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, at this point, like, I needed to get out of the house.
Yeah.
I needed something to do that filled me up, that poured me into others, that got me connected to community, that, like, got me out of the house, to be honest, because I'm still having to live with him. And she goes, yeah, well, we just, like, heard from, like, you know, your husband that you're going to young adults groups and you're hanging out with people. And we just, you know, like, we're not wanting that to represent our church.
Whoa.
And I was like, and she likened it. She was like, well, we just found out too that, like, another staff member was having an affair.
Whoa.
And they're not being allowed to serve. So, and I was like, you're likening me leaving my abuser to somebody having a full-on affair?
And you're also just airing out somebody's dirty laundry?
Yeah.
Like, didn't say who?
Like, I was like, no, she didn't say who.
Yeah,
and
no,
so,
even though she didn't say who, to be like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll know our staff.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel so uncared for right
Yeah.
now. Like, not once did you ask me why I am leaving this man.
Yeah.
You know, in that conversation that we had in the broom closet, like, I told her, I was like, no, like, God doesn't want me to, like, get married to an unbeliever.
Yeah.
That was my choice. And she basically just ended it with being like, well, we're going to be praying for you guys, and I'd love a follow-up meeting. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
And she never once asked me, like, well, why is this happening? What happened?
Yeah.
And also, what am I going to say in front of him?
Yeah.
That he's not going to twist and, like, you know, get in a fight over with me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't feel safe. Like, I'm not going to share what's going on in my life right now. I'm vulnerable. And he also, like, I still live with him at this point.
Yeah.
He can control a lot of the stuff that's going on in my life. He can change the locks if he wants to.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm not talking about this in front of him. I'm not doing this right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm being really careful about, like, what's being said or what's being done, because I have to, like, live with this guy. And I get pulled off of serving. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I want to talk to the pastor.
Yeah.
I'm done. Like, I want to talk to the pastor. And so I, like, am like, who can I freaking get a hold of to be able to talk to the pastor? Because I'm done with this. The way that I'm being treated right now is not okay. And, like, nobody should be treated who's hurting in this church.
Yeah.
No one's asked me. And it gets up to, like, the associate pastor, and the associate pastor pulls me aside with the lady that talked with me, and we sit down, and he asks the right question. He said, so what's going on? And it's just me, and
Simple
it's
as
just
that.
me.
Yeah.
Not my ex is there. My ex is not there. And I tell him the whole story. And I remember the lady starts crying, and she goes, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And he goes, I'm really sorry. I can't imagine what you're going through right now. I want you to feel supported and cared for here. How can we do that? And it was just like this, it was so sweet. It was so kind. I was so thankful that, like, it turned around.
Yeah.
But I remember too, he had said, like, we're still going to keep you off of serving for 3 months, and that's not to punish you.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is give you time to not have a responsibility to show up for. Take your time to grieve, take your time to process, take your time to do whatever you want. In 3 months, let's talk. We'd be happy to have you back. We just want to make sure that you've got enough time to figure out your life. And I was like, okay, that's better. Like, I can get that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's all happening. That's going on. And at this point, I think it's, like, late August. And I'm, like, about to move out.
Yeah.
I had gone on a trip to Washington for a couple weeks to my parents. Like, they had come here. So I was mostly out of the house for the most part. But there was a couple weeks right before I got a new place that I had to, like, stay.
Yeah.
There wasn't a way for me to get out. And so I'm staying downstairs. He's staying upstairs. And I remember he, like, came in to my room, like, knocked on the door. And he was like, have you been cheating on me? And I was like, no. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he's like, really? So who are all the guys that you're talking to? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, I looked through your phone. He fully came down into my room while I was asleep the night prior.
That's crazy.
And went through my whole phone.
While you were asleep.
While I was asleep. And he saw that I had texted Joey being like, I have feelings for you. And so, like, we shouldn't see each other.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm interested in you.
Yeah.
And, like, saw our text exchange of him being like, how are you doing? And me being like, I'm not doing good. But, like, I'm really thankful that, like, I've got you. I've got your mom. Like, you guys are checking in on me.
Yeah.
I'm, like, so grateful I found you guys. Like, I'm just so glad I have outlets, right?
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, like, I like this guy. And so I'm texting him being like, it sucks that you're across the country. Like, I miss you. I hope everything's going really well. Never once are we getting, like, any sort of, like, sexual or anything like that. It's just very, like, I really like this guy. And I'm really thankful that I found him. And, like, yeah, like, it was horrible. Like, the idea of he just, like, walked into my room while I was asleep and is, like, going through all my stuff. And he's also accusing me of, like his best friend I was still going to the gym with and working out with. And he was like, why are you going to the gym with guys? And I was like, he's your best friend.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not doing anything. That's not why I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
And I had, like, made it really clear. I was like, I am not leaving you for anyone.
Yeah.
I am not leaving you because of anyone.
Yeah.
I am leaving you because of the way you treat me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not a new thing.
Yeah.
You've always treated me like this.
Yeah.
And, like, you've been cheating on me with porn.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah. Like, I'm good. And so...
But what a strange way for him not to want to take any responsibility.
It was just, I think it was like, he found like the tiniest little thing to be like,
He ran with it. He ran with it.
And he ran with it. And so at this point, we had set up to this point, we were like, we're not going to talk about each other. Like, we have a daughter. Like, we're not going to pull our friends aside and talk about anything that's going on right now. Like, let's remain respectful about the situation.
Yeah.
And he immediately pulled all of our friends over and was like, Katie's been cheating on me, and I don't know how long it's been going on.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Dude, how are your friends responding?
None of them talked to me.
At all?
Nope.
Not even to get your point of view?
Nope.
Or that's...
Immediately, like, I'm not talking to them, any of them, because I had set the boundary of, like, I'm not
you're like,
dragging anybody. He's the father of my kid, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and drag him through the dirt with any of my friends right now.
Yeah.
Like, not in front of my daughter, especially. And these people see my daughter. And so I don't want them to sit here and be like, well, your mommy said this, or your daddy said this, or talk about it in front of each other.
Yeah.
I've been really careful to, like, not talk about anything in front of my daughter.
Yeah.
And so I didn't, like, reach out to them. I wasn't sitting here trying to be like, hey, like, hear my side out, you know? Like, I'm not going to get into that. That's, like, petty. And I'm dealing with literally going through mediation and divorce court right now. And so I'm like, I'm not doing this. I also don't want this to be brought up in divorce court. Like, there's more stuff going on that, like, he can use X, Y, and Z, or, like, try and manipulate situations to, like, get back at me. And so, like, the more I say, the less safe I am.
Yeah.
And so I didn't say Jack. I think one of his best friend at the time or whatever, did eventually pull me aside and was like, what's going on? And I told him everything. And I remember he was like, oh my God, Katy, I thought he was a good man.
Ugh.
And now I'm like disgusted. Like, I want to punch him.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm so angry. I'm so angry because I thought he was such a wonderful man. And to find out that he treated you like this the whole time is horrifying.
Aww.
And, like...
I bet starting to hear all this
was
nice in the sense of, like, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I had lied so long about, like, how he behaved and what he did and everything that happened in our relationship that I think telling friends was so shocking.
Yeah.
And I had defended him every corner. And so, like, they were immediately like, whoa, what's going on?
Because you're not doing that. Yeah.
So, yeah, none of my friends were talking to me. None of them were hearing me out. I remember I had texted one of them and was like, he was my best friend at the time.
Yeah.
Like... And I texted him and I was like, hey, like, I don't really know, like, what you've heard or what's going on, but I would love the opportunity to just talk with you about, like, what happened and, like, what I'm going through. And he completely ghosted me.
That's awful.
Did not talk to me at all. And, yeah, like, I had a girlfriend at the time who was amazing, and I stayed with her. She let me crash at her place the whole time, and she was so sweet, so kind, and so supportive. And it was just awful. And so, like, the idea of, like, all of this is now coming to the surface. It's, like, late August.
Yeah.
All of this is now coming to the surface. Everybody now knows. And on top of that, my ex at the time, or my ex is now telling everyone I'm cheating on him. Like, there was just so much that I was like,
seriously,
how do I explain my whole life story to you? And the fact that, like, I found this amazing man who, like, I am talking to. But I'm not, like, dating him. Like, he's across the country.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we're just talking on the phone and being like, I really like you. And, like, this is really cool. And, like, what are your thoughts on C.S. Lewis? And, like, just getting to know each other, you know? And so it was awful. Eventually, like, my stepmom pulls me aside and is like, I tell her everything, you know? And she had her ex pull a gun on her when they were married. And so she left him and she was like, Katy, I think you're doing the right thing. My ex behaved the exact same way that like your ex is behaving. And I wish I would have left earlier before it got really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I told her about Joey and I was like, yeah, like he's really sweet, but like all of my friends are telling me I can't talk to him and I shouldn't talk to him. And I feel like they're right. And so me and Joey would go through these bouts where I was like, I can't talk to you. I can't text you. Like, I know we're like not doing anything. There's no like romantic right now, but like, I just can't because I just want to be respectful. And he would be like, okay. And then like 3 days later, I would be like, oh, this is so hard. Like, I just want to talk to you about like everything that's going on. Like so much has happened. And so I told my stepmom and she was like, Katy, like, does he make you happy? And I was like, well, yeah. And she was like, you're going through a lot of pain. You've gone through a lot of pain the last 6 years of your life.
Yeah.
Does he make you forget about the pain for a little bit? And I was like, well, yeah. And she was like, and your friends? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, text him.
Oh.
Like, just talk to him.
Yeah.
Just let him be there for you.
Yeah.
Like, God may have put him in your life to literally just be able to be there for you right now. You've never experienced somebody, like, caring
just
about
there.
you
Yeah.
like this ever,
Yeah.
where somebody is just wanting to hear what's going on and being there for you and, like, being okay with it. Like, right now, your closest friends are literally, like, against you.
Yeah.
Let somebody else be there for you right now. And I was like, okay. And so mid-September comes, and at this point, Joey is, like, head over heels. Like, his side of the story is so prevalent in this that, like, and I don't do it justice, but he, like, knew from God from the beginning that I was going to be his wife.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
But at this point, like, mid-September, he was like, hey, I would really like to date you. I, like, know I want to marry you one day. And I know that's really scary to think about with everything that's going on. But, like, I would like to pursue a relationship with you. I want to be really forward. I want to be intentional. I don't want this to be something where we're just talking.
Yeah.
We're just long distance. We're just getting to know each other. We're not going on dates. There's no physical aspect right now. Like, I just want to get to know you. And I was like, okay, I can do that. Like, that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Like, and I had this whole list of, like, everything that a man would have to check off in order to be even considered. Like, because I was so done. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm never going to be treated this way again. Like, I want to be loved. That was, like, top one, as I was like, I want to be liked, which is so pathetic. But, like, again, being in a relationship where you're just, like, passing each other and he's being so cruel and so mean and there's no affection.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want the, like, love, you know? And he checked every single box, like, to the T and then some. And so I was like, okay, like, we can date long distance. And so I think I fly out October to go visit him just to, like, get out of town. And I meet his whole family. I meet his whole church. They, like, all come up to me. The whole church comes up to me and is like, we've heard everything that's going on and we love you so much and we're so sorry. And, like, we've been praying for you and your daughter the whole time and we hope everything's okay. We're always here.
So nice.
They immediately, all of them friend me on Facebook and they're all like, we're just praying for you.
A complete 180.
It's so different. And, like, his friends were, like, instantly like, oh my God, Joey's the best guy on earth. Like, you're so lucky. And, like, now we see, like, who he would end up with. And it makes so much sense because you're so amazing. And, like, I'm just so grateful that you're here and you found him and he found you. And, like, we're just so happy for you guys. And I was just like, the contrast difference of, like, they knew everything. They knew everything I was going through. And they were so supportive and caring and loving towards me. And so, yeah, divorce was finalized. It took, like, 6 months, which was so long.
Yeah.
I ended up getting nothing because, again, he put his name on everything and made sure my name was on nothing.
Yeah.
And we were only married for 6 months.
Yeah.
And that was, like, insane. So, yeah, I was owed, like, over $100,000 probably in everything I did and gave him. And I walked out with, like, 10 grand.
Wow.
And completely restarted my life. That was, like, December of 2022. And then Joey and I don't see Joey again until January of 2023. So after divorce is finalized, he comes to visit and he meets my family. And it was wonderful. Like, my dad loved him, like, from the instant. And my dad, like, hated my ex. And I remember my dad was so worried about me. He was like, Katy, I just feel like this is, you know, like, you're going so fast and, like, this is a new guy. But he was like, God, I just love him, though. He's so great. He's so perfect for you. I just see yourself, like, your personality is back. He, like, loves your heart.
So
he loves everything about you. I just feel like I've seen you heal.
I can't imagine
almost
hearing
instantly.
that.
And I felt so like, this is what it's supposed to be, you know, like, this is what I gave up because I was trying to protect my image. And I think that, like, a huge part of why I wanted to redo this episode is because, again, I was trying to protect my image.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm just dead to that now. Like, that's legalism. I met my husband while I was in the process of separating from my ex.
Yeah.
It's messy. It's, like, gross. It's raw. It's real. It's, like, not pretty.
Yeah.
But, like, God was so kind to me in that moment. Like, I needed to know
the redemption,
that there was hope out there, that, like, I, like, really remember too, I had, like, told my cohort leader before I met Joey, when we were still in the marriage study with my ex, I told her, I was like, I'm going to die alone. Like, I deserve that. I deserve to be punished for the rest of my life for even getting divorced. Like, I don't deserve anyone. I don't deserve love. And I remember, like, feeling that way.
And I like meant it. Like I was like, I'm done. Like I don't deserve anything. I don't know my mindset. Like God does, you know. I don't know my mindset, what would have happened if I hadn't known about hope or felt any hope. But I don't think it would have been great.
No.
And so I met Joey. It was wonderful. He came out, met my family. My family loved him. I went out for Valentine's Day for February, and we saw Phantom of the Opera in New York City.
That's
on the
awesome.
last running show times for it. And we just kept visiting back and forth. And then it got to the point where it was like heartache every single time. Like, and that was almost instant. Like when I left in October, I was the one that left him because I went to New York. And I remember he just like was sobbing. And when he left me in January, I like cried in the dark for hours. Like it was just heartache, you know?
Yeah.
And so by the time like we've dated for 9 months at this point, every single time we would visit, it like just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like we were sobbing every single time. Like it was so difficult. And he decided to move out to Idaho. He knew I couldn't move because of my daughter.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to stay in New York. And so he moved out, and that was late April, almost May of 2023. And he proposed to me the week after both our sets of parents left from helping move him in. So we had dated for 9 months total and got engaged. And then we got married 2 months later in August of 2023.
Awesome.
And yeah, this year, 2026, we'll be celebrating 3 years married.
That's wonderful.
He is like the best thing that has ever happened to me.
I'm so glad.
I don't know where I'd be if like I didn't have him. But I felt the lowest I had ever felt.
Yeah.
So I'm just so grateful. He is my rainbow. He is my promise that like not all men,
Yeah.
you know, there are men out there that are so good and so pure and so kind and love you so well. I'm just so grateful for that. So that's why I wanted to redo this.
I'm really glad you got to. I feel like you see the impact so much more to like hearing the rainbow at the end, because that is the redemption. Like God's a God of details, man. You're sitting here punishing yourself and thinking you don't deserve anything. And like that's what's so crazy about salvation is that we don't.
No.
But like we serve a loving, good God
Yeah.
who loves us so much that he's like, here you go. Here's a Joey. Here's your rainbow.
Yeah. I was like okay being alone the rest of my life too.
Yeah.
Like I remember sitting in that feeling being like, I deserve this. Like I don't need love. I've never had love. You know, I didn't know what that felt like to be like loved like that. And so I didn't miss out on anything, you know. I wasn't thinking to myself like I wasn't heartbroken over the divorce, if that makes sense. Like I was very much like, this is better.
Yeah, you're like,
you know,
I'm glad
like
it's
I get to be
over.
alone, the pain is gone, the suffering is gone, but like I don't get the good. You know, like especially now that I'm divorced, I will never get the good. And so like for God to be like, no, like you don't get to punish yourself. And I'm gonna give you good was like insane. Like I can get through like literally anything in life because I have Joey.
Yeah. Looking back at all of this.
Yeah.
What is the few things or one thing that you want our listeners to like take away?
This is a big one, but you cannot undo your sin. You just can't.
Yeah.
No fixing will ever fix what's been done. Christ died so that you never have to do that again.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to fix it. And my therapist told me this, but she was like, Katy, you continuing to punish yourself is literally you saying that Jesus didn't do enough for you.
Oh, that hits me like a truck every time like you bring that up or say that.
It's so bad.
So good.
It's just so like it hits you so hard where you're like, ew, like I could never.
Like,
oh
I don't
want to
do that,
yeah.
and then it makes you realize and think
You can never do enough to like earn back forgiveness. Like forgiveness isn't something you earn.
No, it's not.
And I like knew that and thought, but like applying it to myself, it literally meant that if I messed up and had sex with my ex, I feel bad, I don't like him, I just leave him.
Yeah.
I apologize to God. I apologize to my ex. I say I never should have done that. It was such a mistake. And I move on with my life
Yeah.
in God's promises for me
Yeah.
instead of my own ideas. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
That really means a lot.
It's been a long one. And I just it's been a long episode, but I just really wanted to do it justice and and be honest about everything that had happened too, because God's a God of the details. And my husband's side of this is absolutely insane. And so I hope that we can get him on to talk about it too. But his was mine, you see God's redemption, but his, you see God's promise.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely insane. And
that's so cool.
It's so cool when you match them up together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just thankful that I get to share this, and hopefully I've shared a little bit about what has happened to me previously, with other people, and I've had girls that have left relationships that are abusive because of me sharing. And so every person that you can share your testimony with, you could potentially impact and save. Yeah. And that's not you can save them, but the Spirit works through us in order to help others.
Yeah.
And if you don't let him, he can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, thankful to be able to share. Excited to hear about yours next time.
I will share next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for listening in, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yay. Peace out.
Bye.